the quarterback series yet, so I'm kind of bummed about
Yeah,
that.
I haven't gotten to watch that one either. It's probably this week since I figure we'll do it. Give us some time because we all have busy lives and doing other things, and it is 8 episodes. So I mean, if we really wanted to, we could probably binge it and get it done. Could have gotten it done today, but sometimes when you binge it all in one, you forget some stuff and crammed, and you're just watching it just to get it done, to watch it, to talk about it. But so we'll do that in a couple of weeks here.
Also, dude, I've heard it is just super, super great and super well done, where you binge it, but you take in all the information, where it's like,
Yeah.
there's not many things you're going to forget. And I bet you that my 2 days off this week, I will probably blow through it because, like I said, Netflix, they don't want people sharing their passwords anymore because they're cheap. So since it's my family account, it's not the website's not Mankato or anything. So up here in the cities, it thinks I'm stealing, and it's like, no, this is mine. So I either got to text my mom and she can give me access, or I'll just cast it from my phone.
Yeah,
which is probably what I'll do.
The thing with the Netflix thing is, it's like, how much more money does this company need? Like, they're well worth over X billion amount of dollars. Like,
it's got to be a couple $100 billion.
Yeah, I don't even know. We have a smartphone here. How much is Netflix worth?
Facebook is worth like $731 billion, and we checked it this week at work. Amazon's worth over $1 trillion.
Yeah,
which is just,
they are $200 billion right now.
Oh, that's it? Only $200 billion?
Yeah.
To think, a company that started out where they mailed you DVDs and you mailed them back after you wanted to watch them, and now here we are.
Yeah.
With Netflix. Right. I mean, they closed Blockbuster. They shut Blockbuster down forever in this country. But now they can't let you share your password with 3 other people because they don't get their $12.99 a month. What a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. How true is that?
You go from closing down Blockbuster to ruining our childhood to now ruining our adulthood because we can't share passwords. And my mom has to text me a code every 3 days to log in. What a bunch of bullshit.
Isn't it, though? It really is. It's, it starts with that, then it's going to go to corporate greed. And all you're going to do with all that money is you're just going to pay it back to the government, which I don't know why you would want the government to have more money. It's proven that you can't do anything with it anyways.
I especially right now, where they're not giving these big businesses a tax break. They're just charging more. So that's well, okay, not to get all political here, but when did these new fees and privacy things get enacted? Over these last couple of years. Oh, look what happened. These, B Corp's got to pay a little more. So they're not stupid.
No. Well, the other part too is like with the whole fair share, and this goes back to sound financial, sound business advice here, but I don't think this is the worst idea. Is that like the whole government pay their fair share? I mean, I'm okay with them paying less taxes because at the end of the day, the less they're paying to the government, the more they're going to be able to hire people. They're going to be able to grow the business and invest it back into the company to help it grow. And at the end of the day, who would you rather trust with your money? The government or American people?
Remember this famous line, I think it was from Ronald Reagan. If you hear this phrase, run away. Someone knocks on your door and they say this: I'm here from the government. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Run away, Simba, and never return.
That's right. And this is episode 87 of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. This is the... Oh, you lost it. You missed your chance. It's Gronkowski episode. Nope. You had your chance. You blew it.
I was going to say Rob
Gronkowski episode.
I was going to say Gronk.
I was. You're not a true Chiefs fan.
No. I respect it. I'm a football fan, and he was. You compare Gronk. He's like Shaquille O'Neal. When they were on their game, the most unstoppable force in their sports at the time. Nobody could stop them.
Well, I was listening to Pardon My Take today, and they had Greg Olson on, and Greg Olson said this, that Travis Kelce is 1 or 2 more good years away, which is very likely as long as Pat Mahomes stays healthy, he stays healthy, because of the longevity of his career. He hasn't been injured.
Yep.
Which if Gronk stays healthy, it's without a doubt that he is the greatest tight end of all time. Right now, I would probably, if we're going just pure talent, athleticism wise, yes, Gronk does it. But at the end of the day, your best ability is availability, and he missed a lot of time. He was injured a lot, and I'm not trying to discredit his career at all, because I'm not. He is an incredible player. He was a great teammate, worked his butt off. Gronk spike is legendary, but if when these type of discussions come up, that's also has to get thrown into the mix. Is your how available were you? And there were a lot of times, especially in some of these the playoff runs in Brady's career, where Gronk wasn't there. And if he's healthy, does that change things? Probably. If he's healthy in Super Bowl when they lost to the Giants the second time, if his ankle is healthy, I think they win that Super Bowl.
I think he catches that Hail Mary in the end zone.
Yeah. Or it doesn't even come down to that, where he's able to stretch it big, or where they ended up having to settle for a field goal. They get a touchdoure out of it if he's healthy.
On that third down pass, maybe he's not going to Welker, he's going to Gronk.
Yep.
Where Welker dropped that pass. And even what also maybe might hurt his legacy is, 28-3 Super Bowl. Gronk was out with, was it a torn ACL again that year? He didn't play. It was or maybe it was an elbow.
He didn't play in that back. I think it was his back.
Okay, yep. But he didn't play in that Falcons game. So, he's got 4 rings, but he was on the field for 3 of them. But also, it's tough because he was so big and so dominant. The only way you could tackle him was to go at his knees and hit his lower back. So his almost physical stature kind of put him in jeopardy anyway. But then also, it's saying something because Travis does a great job of not taking hits. He's gotten a few to the dome against the Titans over these years, but he does a nice job avoiding hits and not missing extended period of time. I mean, the only year he missed was his whole rookie year with the torn meniscus. Besides that, I think he's played almost every single game. And started every single game besides a week 17, week 18 game where they got everything locked up and they don't need him to play.
Yeah, well, and the other part too is, I think, and I don't think this gets talked about enough, where Gronk is straight muscle. There isn't an ounce of fat on his body. Where you look at Travis Kelce,
no,
I feel like he's got a little bit more flub to him. Not much, but I think enough, because I know Zeke Elliott talked about where his rookie year he was too lean and he got beat up, and that's part of the reason why he always looked so big, is because he needed a little bit more fat as like a layer of protection. Maybe this is just dumb us talking and going, and we have no idea what we're talking about, but you see guys that are a little bit heavier that are playing skill positions that aren't 100% all muscle, no fat. They seem to play longer for whatever reason. They don't have the pulled muscles. They don't have those issues that a lot of the guys where they're too lean do.
Also, I'm surprised on a different route like this, Dylan. I'm surprised more dudes haven't just adopted the Tyler Lockett mindset, where you see a bunch of guys coming, I'm just getting down. Who cares if the old guys are going to judge you? Oh, he doesn't want to take a hit over the middle. He's not tough, blah, 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 blah. Well, hey, dude, that's why you played 6 years in the 90s and you have no money nowadays, because you took that abuse and you tried to be the tough guy. Tyler Lockett's had a great career. He was drafted in, I believe, 2015, and he's still going strong because he's not letting his body take this abuse. So maybe I wish more dudes would almost adapt that style, where it's like, you know what, those extra 2 to 3 yards aren't worth it. I'm just going to get down and save my body.
Well, and part of it too is understanding the situations like a 1st and 10 in the first quarter, you get 9 yards, and you got that situation coming at you. Yeah, I mean, you still got 2 more downs to get it,
Mm-hmm.
and in the end, it probably won't affect it. But you also have to have that killer instinct too of when it's 3rd and 9 against 3rd and 9 late in the fourth, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you got those guys, you got to put your head down and go.
Oh yeah, without question there. But just look at like the way Tyler does Lockett, the way he does his thing. He just knows that these are just unnecessary blows that are coming that I don't need. And for the most part, he
Yep.
does a good job not missing any games there in Seattle. You can guarantee Tyler Lockett's going to play 16 or 17 games a season.
Yeah.
To your point,
Yeah,
your
for
best
sure.
best ability is availability.
Yeah, it is. And someone that was always available outside of his second year in the league was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And we did talk about it a little bit. We did tease. Ethan he's going to be joining us a little later. He was not able to watch the movie this week. He was at a wedding, which I was impressed. The guy wears a suit to a wedding. That's just not something, unless I'm in it, I'm not going to be wearing a suit. That's just not my thing.
That's not my thing either, because I feel, for me, if I'm going just as a member of the congregation, nobody cares what I'm going to look like.
And your clothes are going to be off by the end of the night anyways.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be hot. It's uncomfortable. It's another thing you have to carry around. But yeah, props to him.
You're going to have a lot of alcohols in you.
What's that?
You're going to have a lot of alcohols in you,
You're going to have a lot of
alcohol.
alcohol.
Sweating a little more. The clothes, the buttons keep coming down.
And there's a chance that jacket is spun around over your head and thrown across the dance floor 3 or 4 times, and people are stepping on it. Then it's getting dirty and it's wrinkled, and it becomes an absolute disaster.
Well, the thing is too is so the wedding that I'm in about 6 weeks or so, when I went to go get mine fitted, the guy that was doing my fitting, and he asked if I wanted to get my jacket tailored too, and it was like going to be an extra like $100 to do it. I was like,
"Ooh,
no, I'm good." And he's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, yeah, because for one, I'm going to be drinking all day. I'm wearing it to walk down the aisle and to do for pictures. And after that thing is coming off, and I will be lucky if I see it again.
Dude, you're going to be wearing your vest by the end of the night, and just the vest, if you guys are wearing a vest.
I don't even know. That's a great question.
Because it'll be like kind
weddings is like the communication is terrible, so you don't have an idea of. We won't know until like the week of. It's like, hey, yeah, you guys can go pick up your suits in Bismarck. It's like, well, we're an hour and a half away. It's not just easy where you can just go pick it up. But
then don't. So to like my point, it's almost like high school prom. After the Grand March and everything like that, when you're going out having a good time on the dance floor, everyone's jacket's coming off, the shirts are coming off underneath, and everybody just has the vest on. So to your point,
yeah.
why waste $120 to get this jacket tailored that there's no point in doing it?
Exactly. But there's that, and like I said, we are going to be reviewing the movie Air and the genesis of this shoe, the Air Jordan 1, which the colors, they've come out with a few different colors. This is not the original colors for those of you that are new or don't know what the Air Jordan 1 looks like, but this is it. One of the sweetest shoe designs of all time. And Air, which is the story of how Nike landed Michael Jordan, and I would say it worked out for both sides. I don't know if you think that, Grant, but I would say it worked out all right for him.
Well, I'll say this is the reason why it worked out. Over his tenure at Nike, Phil Knight has donated $2 billion to charity. To charity. I think it worked out just fine.
And well, it worked out his rookie year where they made $162 million, in shoe sales off that, which I don't think it ever said what percentage of the cut he got of every shoe sold, but I mean, I don't know what they were sold for back then, but he $162 million and say he got like, I don't know, even 10% or 1% of each shoe.
I was thinking maybe
$162 million. It adds up pretty quick.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like they'd get 10%. He would get 10 or between 5 and 10% of that cut.
It could have been. Yeah, I don't know. And I tried to go and look in. I've read Phil Knight's book Shoe Dog, and I went back to go and see if it got to the point with Michael Jordan, but it stopped at 1980. So that the Michael Jordan contract and signing him did not go in, but didn't make it into the book. But I don't think people realize that Nike at that time they were basically known as a running company. It
was what Prefontaine.
And that was how it got it started. Yep, right? With Steve Prefontaine. And it was slowly starting to get in. They couldn't get any big names for Nike, and they were basically Nike basketball was basically on the chopping block of things that were going to get cut. And if they didn't hit a home run, or I guess in this sense a grand slam, who knows? Nike they're not the most famously known brand in the world or most recognizable brand in the world, but it also talked about how Nike got to where it was by taking risks, by being aggressive and going after it. And when Sonny went and visited about, hey, I think we should offer all $250,000 of our budget, basketball budget, to Michael Jordan, said it was crazy. And that was when Sonny kind of talked to me. He's like, you guys didn't make this by being conservative or trying to make the board happy, which is kind of where they were at, where it was just trying to please the shareholders, please the board. And they got away from that aggressive risk-taking style. And then Phil, like it was said, goes on a run, decided, yeah, all right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And Michael at the time, which I don't know if you knew that, but the just do it was before a guy was getting executed, and his last words were just do it.
I had no idea. That was so fascinating to learn that possibly the three most famous words in sports apparel was because some guy was going to get executed by a firing squad. and incredible. Who would have thought? And so Dylan, you mentioned, Phil went on that run. Is that the best case of runner's high like anyone's ever had in their life? Where they're just like, you know what? I have an idea after I went for this magical run. Let's give it all to Michael Jordan. Like, that has to be the best case of runner's high ever.
Yeah. Well, and it didn't even end there either, because the shoe that they had designed, it didn't fit with the NBA's dress code for on-court code, where 50% of the shoe had to be white. And Rob Strasser says, what if we just pay his fine, which is $5,000 a game, which ended up being 5,000 times 82. I can't do math in my head. Big number. But when you sell $162 million in sales in the first year, it's pocket change.
And then, after a while, I'm hoping the NBA kind of loosened up their purse strings and said, this is a ridiculous fine. Let's get rid of this. But that's another thing I learned, dude. I didn't know that the NBA was so strict that their shoe had to be 50%, color white. And then that Nike pretty much risked it for the biscuit. And they said, no, that's all right, Michael. You go out, you play basketball, you do your thing, and we'll pay the fine.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And then and then when Michael goes, or Sonny goes to meet his mom and just decides, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to do it. And he goes and he meets with the mom, Dolores. And she, very smart woman. And when he was talking with his basketball coach, George, who was the Iowa assistant, his assistant at
USA basketball for the Olympics?
For USA basketball. And when he goes, I think this was when he meets with his mom. No. But, and I had this written in my notes, and now I'm just pulling it out because that's how prepared we are. But one of my favorite quotes in one of the opening scenes is, "Our basketball division is fucking terrible." And,
yes.
He talked about, what the family was like, what the parents were like, and to Sonny's credit, he talked about how he decided he was going to go after his mom, try to build that relationship, that trust with her, because that was going to be the way to win Michael over, because he knew that the most important voice in Michael's life were his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And to her credit, she gave Sonny the time to go visit, because Michael had zero desire. It said that he would, even if Nike went and bought him that Mercedes that he wanted, he still wouldn't sign with Nike.
Yep.
And when Sonny met with his mom, she asked what the pitches with Converse was going to be, what the pitch with Adidas was going to be. And Adidas at the time was the premier shoe, but they were going through some hardships because the owner of Adidas, Adi Dassler, he died. So there was, I don't know if it was run by his brothers or kids or, there was a bunch of different voices. And, he said that if you ask who's calling the shots, you're going to get 4 different answers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how that played out.
Now, was Adidas the top dog at the time, or was it Converse? Because Converse had Bird and
it was
and
Adidas.
Magic Johnson. Okay.
It was Adidas. Well, so are you saying? I think, like as a whole, I think Converse was, but I think Michael liked Adidas because he also liked the tracksuits.
Oh, yes.
That Adidas had at the time as well, and he just liked the shoes. I guess because they talked about that in the film, how Michael would wear Adidas in practice. He wouldn't wear the Converse. He'd wear Converse for games, but after that, he would always wear Adidas.
Yep.
And goes over his agent David Falkshead, which was a very funny exchange.
That I was gonna say, that dude, when Sonny talked to his agent when he got back to headquarters, that may have been the best part of the movie. How he just brought the agent down. The agent was just pissed at Sonny that he went behind his back. He set up this meeting, and then just right there at the end of the conversation, he looks at his agent and he goes, "All right, I'll see you Monday," and hangs up on him.
Which, that was another really good part of that I enjoyed with the movie, is it did have those comical breaks where there were times where it was tense, but they were find ways to kind of break the tension, and had some times where they burst out laughing, like when the guy that was designing the shoe was out on a skateboard, and they're like, maybe he's going through a midlife crisis. Like, hey, I saw you out with on a skateboard. What's going on there? I'm going through a midlife crisis.
Dude, you're 50 years old and you're riding a skateboard in our parking lot? Yeah, I'm going through a midlife crisis.
But and then they get to the meeting with Nike, and Rob Strasser tries to make a joke. It did not land. It was terrible. It would probably sound like if I were to ever try to do stand-up comedy, it just would not work. And then they try to do this movie or film breakdown, and it wasn't going well. And then, Grant, you talked about runner's high, and Sonny was not a runner.
No, he was just a fat middle-aged white guy.
And he just, or it was, I think that was the runner's high for Sonny, or it was similar to that scene in Old School where Will Ferrell has to talk about carbon emissions or whatever it was in the
debate.
Yes. And
Yes.
He looks. I blacked out. I don't know what happened. and that's exactly what it was the pitch of when I see your son, he's going to be the greatest ever. He has that ability, and it goes back all the way to when he was in college, when he was begging for that shot at 18 seconds to go, and he was ready for the moment because he knew he was getting the ball.
Yeah, and that's when Sonny, watching that replay, saw it. Just the smallest details from watching that championship game in New Orleans against Georgetown. And when they first showed that movie, I was like, why does he keep watching this? Like, what? We know he makes the shot, but when Sonny broke it down, you're just like, okay, yeah, he sees something in this guy. And if it wasn't for those small little details, again, the sports apparel world as we know it is flipped upside down.
And, he offered probably one of the greatest lines. A shoe is just a shoe until someone steps into it.
Yep.
And that was what that's what Dolores told Sonny when he was kind of backtracking off of, well, Michael is going to sign with you, but he wants a percentage of each shoe sold. And he was, that's not how this works.
We're going to set a different standard and break the industry. Yada, yada, yada. But then,
which is, one of the themes of the movie, which is how Nike got to be where it was, is they didn't get to be where they were. Phil coming in 7 minutes late, talking about how they are a multi-billion-dollar company, how he's got meetings, but wanted to make sure he's there. And that's how you set an industry, is by taking that risk and betting on a guy that's never played a game.
Yeah.
And he goes on $162 million in their first year, and now it's over $4 billion in revenue each year of passive income. It said it was like 400 passive income.
400, yep.
And and Sonny goes up kind of defeated to Phil. Phil's excited, is like, he's got good news.
Yep.
And then it's like they want a percentage of each shoe, and Phil kind of sits there and thinks, and then says, "You know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
Let's do it." Yep.
And then the rest is history.
The rest is history. So, Dylan, question for you.
Yep.
I know you have the Air Jordan 1s. If there's what other of all the line of Jordan shoes out there, which is the one that you wish you could have? Which is the one you wish you had now? Like your most desirable. You already have the Air Jordan 1s. Which would be the one where you're like, I need that?
And I want about 2 or 3 other Air Jordan 1s. I want the originals that were shown in the film. Mm-hmm. I want a Michigan colored one. And I want those Carolina blue ones just because they look so sick. If we're going off of, yeah,
they're the best. To me, they're the best shoe out there.
It's
so sexy.
I like the Jordan 11s. Those aren't a bad shoe too. Those are the ones that are white with just the just whatever color on the bottom.
Yep.
Or the Jordan 4s. I like the Jordan 4s as well. I think, and I'm not super. I've slowly kind of started getting more into the sneakerhead game, but very, very, very hesitant because they are not cheap.
Yeah, that's correct.
And at some point, yeah, there's a few that I really want to get, but right now I'm good with my NDSU Jordan 1s. And if for the right price, I would probably, my next one would be the Michigan ones. Oh, and Ethan is on, but overall, tremendous movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. And one of the best movies that I've seen that's newer in a while, probably next to Top Gun 2.
Well, movies nowadays aren't that good. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yep.
But I am excited for this Oppenheimer movie. I do want to see that.
Yes, I am very, very excited about that.
Yeah,
That looks like a tremendously done movie.
And if Christopher Nolan is directing, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, but Christopher Nolan, I'm in. My favorite movie of all time, The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale, knocked it out of the park.
It is.
And Heath Ledger, rest in peace, by the way.
R.I.P. And Ethan has joined us now. Ethan, welcome on.
Thank you.
I will say I am impressed that you wear a suit to every wedding you go to.
Oh no, we lost him.
Oh, we lost him.
But no,
I didn't even bring.
Like I said, the dude knows how to dress, man.
I'm here.
He does.
Am I here?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I think I'm back. I at least wear a sport coat to everyone.
Okay.
Especially in the summer, if you go outside, you have to wear the sport coat, or else everyone sees your sweat.
Through the suit coat, you're saying?
Or
just
so if you
the shirt. Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Well, most weddings I go to, it's gonna. I'm gonna be sweaty as it is, so the suit. If it happens, it happens. It's whatever.
Yeah, but Dylan, when you're sweating, it's afterwards at the reception on the dance floor. Everyone's sweating. Ethan's talking like ceremony.
Yeah. That's where you just put on a bunch of deodorant and call her good.
That doesn't help.
I think I've been to maybe 2 outdoor weddings in my entire life, so I've never really had a huge deal with it.
Just one outdoor wedding for me, but also I really haven't been to a lot of weddings. Like, guys, I could probably count on one hand how many weddings I've been to in the last 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
What can I say? I just don't know. And when I say, like, Caleb and Connor doesn't count because I was actually in those. When I say, like, that I've been to, like, as a guest.
Okay.
Like where I got an invite.
Okay.
There's part of me that envies that, because I would have a lot better feeling mornings if I didn't go to the amount of weddings I go to or bachelor parties.
What can I say? I just don't know a whole lot of people who are getting married and engaged these days.
Yeah. Well, and the other part with the outdoor weddings is when you grow up Catholic and all your friends are Catholic, and the Catholic Church says it's very clear that you have to be married in a church or it isn't considered an official marriage, that you avoid those outside ones and you end up having to sweat through some pictures. I've had a couple of weddings that I've been in where I've had to sweat through some pictures with a jacket on, but other than that, it hasn't been too bad.
Imagine going to a wedding this weekend where full on Catholic, like all these people went to Catholic school all the way through high school. Their parents are Catholic, and Mike shows up in a Somalian outfit and a dress.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say, what the hell was he wearing?
You should have seen the faces of some of these guys.
Oh God, they had to be just horrified.
Oh God, there was one, like I probably been to like 3 or 4 weddings with them in the last like 5-6 years. They shook my hand once, didn't come say another word. That's how serious some of them are. It was hilarious.
So, like, has Mike worn this before? Or he just said, "Hey, fuck it, let's try something new."
He's been getting into it, wearing it more often, which is fine. Do you?
Okay.
But yeah, some of them I kind of knew were gonna not like it that much.
Associate.
Most of them didn't care, but there definitely were a few that did.
There's a few snobs out there.
Yeah.
Well, I would say something, but I can't. I'm not in much of a position to say anything because every wedding that I've ever been to, at the end of the night, all the guys drop their pants, put their arms around each other, and sing Piano Man. So, I mean, it's really no different than that.
They
Maybe
actually
a little
did
bit
play
worse.
Piano Man. Everyone got in a circle, but no one took their pants off. It was actually odd that no one took their pants off.
What a bunch of losers.
So does it
that wedding sounds terrible.
Does it like half count then?
I don't think it
no.
counts.
It doesn't count.
No, it doesn't.
No.
The pants have to be at the ankles. That's how this works.
Nobody's.
I mean, again, I'm no wedding snob here, but from what I've heard from other people, that's what you do. Pants are at the ankles, and piano man's on.
Yep.
And you just accept it. You let it happen. The amount of brides that have said that that they will not let that song be played. It's on the do not play list. It always gets played, and it always happens.
It's a good song.
It is. It's a beautiful song.
It's like the Masters on CBS, a tradition unlike any other.
Amen.
Fair point.
Amen.
So is it safe to say that if you two ever get married someday, that Piano Man will be the last song and Pants will be on the floor?
I don't know about
for
last
sure.
song, but it'll be played.
It'll be fine.
Oh,
Okay, I'm just curious.
Ethan, if I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna make sure of it. It's happening.
Okay.
I may be the only guy with my pants down, but by God, one
Dylan,
of my friends gets.
Dylan, I'm not going to let you be alone.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm not.
Good.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that to you.
Pretty
You-
sure
you
Hannah's shaking her head right now.
I said hypothetically speaking. So
Hannah, just accept it. Just let it happen.
99% of that day is for the bride. Can we not have one song for the dude?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just there to have a good time.
I just for 3.5 minutes, and Ethan just say the right name. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't need Ethan going full Ross here.
Full on. Yeah, we cannot do that. For the love of God, do not do that.
Nope.
Well, so I've learned that a lot of them lately, because ever since watching the show, I've paid attention to that. A lot of them where the priest will just say the whole vows, and then all the bride and groom have to do is say "I do."
Okay, because I was going to say, like, if they make you repeat this stuff, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I would totally forget a line. I'd be like,
Oh, absolutely.
what am I supposed to say?
Say what, sir? Like,
What? Can you speak a little slower this time,
what
sir?
are we doing?
I'm sorry, Father. I didn't hear that. Can you say that again?
And that scene from Friends will just be replaying over and over in my head. Just say the right name. Say the right name. Say the right name. Like,
You're not wrong.
It'll be one of those cases where Dylan has never dated an Emily in his life. But then he'll say, Dylan, take... he's never dated a Rachel in his life. And then he'll say, Dylan, take the Rachel. I mean Savannah.
That'd be incredible.
He's associated himself with a Rachel. And he says that. Oh, God, that would be funny.
Or I knowingly say that just to see what actually that would be terrible, because I would just be in the doghouse from day one, which your wedding
your marriage would last about as long as Ross and Emily's did.
Yeah, because when you think about it, the wedding, that's something the girl's been dreaming about since she was 3 years old, or the age she could remember stuff.
For sure.
All a guy is asking for is two things. They don't have to. All he has to say is "I do," and let the guys take their pants off and sing "Piano Man." That's it. That's just
4 minutes.
The only two things they want to do.
4 minutes of fun. That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And you know who's not having a lot of fun right now?
Probably
Pat
Hannah.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Probably
Pat
Hannah
Fitzgerald's
listening to
having a rough
this
day.
nonsense. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were saying Hannah wasn't having fun listening to us two idiots blab.
She probably isn't either. But Pat Fitzgerald is not having much fun right now. He just filed a suit. We didn't talk about it all last week because when we recorded it on Monday. It was about 2 hours fresh, and there's a lot of emotional things people could have been saying. We wanted to kind of wait a little bit, let some more of the details come out about it before we really dove deep into it and had a discussion on it. The allegations of hazing, the stuff the hazing that was going on was
disgusting.
It was disgusting, to quote Joe Buck. It was
heinous.
This is 2022. This is it's not something that should be doing. If when you're talking hazing at this point, if you want a freshman to carry your pads or clean the locker room, stuff like that, I think that's okay. But
Maybe
the stuff that they were doing,
a bad haircut.
that's pushing it. But
Sorry.
but
I mean, if you shave someone's head, that's about as far as I think a haircut can go. Not like the whole Tim Tebow halo, but if you just. But then again, you're right. The haircut might be pushing it.
What if you
and it depends. It's something that you'd have to okay with whoever it was.
That is true.
It's like, but it was, and a guy that, when you think of Northwestern football, you think of Pat Fitzgerald, and he's lawyered up. He didn't get some slapdick either. He got like one of the higher paying attorneys that probably charge $1,000 an email, and he's gonna go out fighting it. I think partially he was fired because he was originally suspended for 2 weeks, and if there wasn't the media outcry for it, he probably still has a job. I also think it was very easy to fire him based off the last 2 seasons that he's had. I think if it's coming off of the 2020 COVID season and this all comes out where they played for a Big Ten title and made it to Indianapolis, I think he's able to keep his job. And it would be similar to more of a Urban Meyer situation where they were able to the Urban Meyer doesn't have any moral high ground or just doesn't seem like a great dude. But, Pat Fitzgerald saying that he didn't know, I find that complete bullshit for a guy that's considered someone that's in depth and it knows the insides and outs of it, and the reports are out that he knew and was clapping in a way that guy had to get run or whatever it was called. These coaches that they're dictators essentially, that what they say go, and to the most part it does work. But when things like this start coming out, you put the university in a tough spot where they don't have a choice. They have to get rid of you. And if you're allowing it to happen and you claim that you know what's going on and you are the control freak that you are, which most college coaches are, they have to know. And maybe they don't know it all, but they know that it's going on. They're not stupid.
Well, and also these college kids are dumb. They're going to talk and say stupid stuff. They don't know how to keep a secret.
Yeah.
So these coaches are going to hear things, and it might not be the actual, the exact details on what they did to this guy, but they're making jokes about something that sounds eerily similar, and they keep talking about it. These coaches know. You would have to literally just not be trying to listen to them to not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, like that, Dylan, I think you said it right. Like, he probably deserved to be fired, and I think we can all agree on that. But just how the AD handled it, very well could give Fitzgerald $40 million. Like you said, he gets in the 2-week suspension, which is ironic because fall ball starts in 3 weeks. Oh wow! What are you missing?
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
What are the odds?
What are the odds?
It was 2 games. It was 2 games, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 weeks from the start. It wasn't 2 games. It was 2 weeks away from the program.
So he wasn't going to miss any of the games?
No. It was 2 weeks from where he was. Yeah, it's a joke.
These coaches don't talk to these players in the summer anyway. It's all the wait staff.
Yeah. It's like
the strength and conditioning
they
staff.
only have minimal contact, essentially, or no practices at least.
Exactly.
But then, 48 hours, 72 hours later, you get all this backlash, and then you move forward with the termination. What changed in those 48 hours that you didn't know at the beginning? Literally nothing, except just the public's outrage, because you butchered it from the start. Like, I get he's at Northwestern football. They are terrible ever since he's not there. One, he went to the Rose Bowl when he played, and two, he actually brought him back to somewhat average. Last 10 years, he's probably won the most. 8 years, I guess, probably the most.
Winningest coach in Northwestern history.
Oh, easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, but at the same time, like, there's a standard, and that what he was doing surely isn't it.
And especially at an institution like Northwestern, where this isn't Alabama. This
No.
isn't Auburn. This isn't Florida State. This isn't the University of Florida is a good public school, but this isn't Clemson. This is a institution where you have the right to play football. Your grade and academics and how you represent the school come first. And for you to let this happen under your watch, it's a black guy in the university that you can't have him associated with you and your university. So they probably should have just terminated him from the beginning. To Ethan's point, now they're just going to have to pay the bag over because they handled this the wrong way. And attorneys are going to get involved, and it's going to cost the school and everyone a lot of money.
What's ironic is it's school, like the school papers everywhere just keep dying and dying. And Northwestern's probably a top 5 journalism school in the country.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're the one that broke the stories
Probably.
to start,
yes.
which is crazy. Like a school newspaper breaks the story that might be the tale of college football before the season even starts.
Well, and what's to Ethan, they had the courage to say, who cares if it's the local hero and Pat Fitzgerald? This is newsworthy, and we need to do our job as journalists. They didn't back down.
No.
A lot of at USC, at Alabama, at Ohio State, these journalism, the director of the journalism program, they would have backed down and said, "Oh, we can't do it. We can't do it to this coach. He's a god.
Evan
He's
Flood of
untouchable."
Wisconsin. He would 100% done it. I mean, he took an offer off for one of their home state players because they didn't commit there. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, credit to the journalism program at Northwestern where they had the courage to say, "Hey, this is our job. This is what we go to school for. If there's a report of, mistreating players, sexually with hazing and emotional damage, you have to report on this. You have to get this to the public eye." And they didn't back down. So credit to them.
Yeah,
Credit to them for doing that.
And a lot of it too is I've listened to a few podcasts throughout with guys that have played college football, and in that's like most of the time, that's what most colleges or coaches, they get up and say that we do not tolerate hazing. We do not allow it. It is not permitted in this locker room. And if I see it, you're going to face consequences. And it's just unfortunate that's what it didn't happen, and it is what it is. But it also goes back to coaches know. And
coaches know.
It's also one of those things that I guarantee you all coaches, back from when the guys that you played for, they knew the kids that were partying, they knew the kids that were drinking. They all know that stuff. It's just a matter
Absolutely.
of getting caught or not.
Well, and guys, what's interesting is Ethan brought up when Northwestern won the Big Ten in '95 when Pat Fitzgerald was there. The head coach for that team was Gary Barnett. Well, remember when he went to Colorado, there was an accusation that some members of the football team sexually assaulted the female kicker. Colorado didn't do anything about that. But then after they lose to Texas in the Big 12 title game, 70-3, then they say, "Oh yeah, we have to fire this head coach." Not after there was a report that 2 players assaulted a girl on your team, but after you lose by 67 points. So, and maybe the reason why Pat let this go is, who knows, maybe this has been a Northwestern thing for a long time, back to when Gary Barnett was there, and maybe Pat just thought, hey, it's just the way it is. It's we got to teach these freshmen how to toughen up and welcome to college football, and it's a disgusting act. And he just thought, it's just, it's football culture. It's tough. It's not for everybody. With that,
well, and you look, the baseball coach was resigned because of a lack of the allegations of hate,
could we call
racism, hazing,
institutional control to deal with the hit the Miami Hurricanes with.
Exactly, which they ended up. It was more so the NCAA, which had the lack of institutional control in that situation. But this sounds like it's a university problem. Mm-hmm. If the football coach is fired, now the baseball coach is fired, and who else knows what other sports it's going on there.
Well, and guys,
it could be a whole university thing, and if that's the case, the president needs to be on the chopping block, and I think
The
it
athletic
is
director.
a new president and AD at Northwestern. So maybe
their
this
AD
is how they.
for sure left recently. I can't remember where he went.
Okay.
He went to be a
I
commissioner
wonder
somewhere.
why. I wonder why.
He went to be a commissioner, I think.
And this new president and AD are the ones that are uncovering it, or maybe they tipped the newspaper off and they gave them gave them that information to kind of and trying to clean it up of Northwesterns of what is considered one of the best universities in America.
Well, and guys, also, it's interesting, Dylan, earlier on you mentioned the social media outcry. Another reason why I think there's some serious flames to the smoke here is this. I know Northwestern doesn't have a lot of guys in the NFL, but where has Rashawn Slater and then is it Gregory Newsome, the corner? They've been pretty quiet. If what I'm saying is this, if these allegations aren't true, and Pat Fitzgerald lost his job when he shouldn't have because this actually didn't happen, I bet you in today's world, these players would have been on social media protecting their college coach. But they've been quiet.
And the players on the team have voiced their support.
But also
some of them.
There's also a group of 8 players just today. They're getting a prominent attorney from Chicago, and they're suing the school based off of emotional and sexual damage caused by these
civil lawsuit allegations. Because let's tie it back to the team on my chest right now. When Iowa had the Chris Doyle with the racism in 2020, you had a lot of former players say, hey, yeah, he was a bad dude. Or, this coaching staff, they told black players to take their hoods off when they were inside. You know which guys you didn't hear from on social media? George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, Ricky Stanzi, probably because it was true. If it wasn't true, they would have said something, but they were like, hey, what my brothers are saying, there's some truth to it, and I can't dispute it. Yeah. And
I looked it up. Jim Phillips, their old AT, is now the ACC commissioner.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So quite the jump.
Quite the jump.
Yeah. Quite the jump. Big Ten has a new commissioner. He's got to be better than Kevin Warren. Doesn't take much, but we're 3 weeks away from camp opening. I know for us, we actually just had a coaches meeting last night. I had to do a presentation on Inside Zone. That was fun. But yeah, we start varsity starts August 3rd. Junior high starts the 7th, and if you blink, it's going to be here.
Well, some NFL rookies report tomorrow.
Yeah, because the Jets open up. I think the Jets actually opened up today because they're playing in the Hall of Fame game.
Well, I know the Niners and the Chiefs, their rookies report tomorrow.
Okay.
For like a little 3 or 4 day mini camp before the veterans get there.
Okay. And yeah, are you guys got any plans to go over to watch the Vikings practice at all for training camp, or?
We haven't even talked about it yet. I haven't even looked at the schedule when they start or anything.
Nothing now, but I mean, since we're right here, what's going to stop us from impulsively saying, hey, on this stage, do you want to go? Yeah, let's do it.
I know they did add a second night practice because last year's was such a good showing that they want to do it again. So maybe, who knows, maybe we check out one of those this year.
Yeah.
Do they charge you guys for that, or is it just you can just walk in?
I think they charge us $5 to get in the door, or something like that.
It wasn't much, if anything.
It's a small fee just to get in the building, but they get you on everything inside. People buying jerseys, concessions, other memorabilia, other stuff like that. Because Dylan, as you would know, some people make this a summer vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're in Eagan, people are going to stay. They're going to go to the mall. They're going to go to a Twins game. They're just going to do anything and everything you can in the Twin Cities. So, and the Vikings built a hotel on the property. You can stay right there.
Yeah. And speaking of the Twins, I believe we are going to get Brandon Warren back on, talk some trade deadline, the state of the Twins. They just got a sweep. So maybe this is the All-Star break was needed to get their minds right.
Let's halt the brakes a little. It was Oakland.
I know, but they're also back in the lead of the AL Central.
They are.
But it could be a lot worse. The Twins could be the Mets and have their third baseman get the ball smoked off his face.
I love the fact
But
that the Mets are falling apart. It's fantastic.
$600 million payroll.
It's great. I love it.
And it's going to get more because they're gonna throw everything they can at Shohei.
Oh, without question. I know. To me, there's no way he leaves the West Coast. Like I see he could get traded, but I think he's just too close to Japan. He's going to stay on the West Coast somewhere.
I saw someone put on Twitter today the Twins offering Larnick, Ober, and who was the last one? Brooks Lee, our second-rate prospect now for Shohei.
For what? 68 games?
Yeah, because I mean he's going to hit free agency no matter where the hell he signs or gets. If he would get traded, which I don't think he's going to, but
no.
If anything, maybe Goldschmidt. I think that'd be a realistic target for the Twins.
Yeah, and when we get Brandon on, we'll find out and see who some targets are. See if he's able to, if we can help solve the Twins' problems. But other than that, I don't. DeAndre Hopkins is a Titan. Other than that, there really is not a whole lot going on. Grant, as training camp goes, you being the Mankato boy, you better have some stories lined up that you can tell and share for us as to get us through to training camp, preseason, things like that.
Oh, I got some stories.
Okay.
Both on and off the field stories. Okay.
And I suppose then with that, we'll kick it over to Ethan for curveball of the week.
Well, we were talking about weddings and everything, and wedding registries are important. Depending on what you put on there, where you go, you can even get up to like 20-30% off of these items if they're not bought. So what's the biggest thing that you're going to put on a wedding registry?
Like for myself?
For yourself.
Hypothetically speaking, if I get married someday?
Ooh.
Actually, it's tough actually because on this note, I was actually talking to Alec about that this weekend, guys. We were talking about how it seems like most people before they get married these days they live together. So like, what do you get them? Like they already have everything.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were literally just talking about
cash.
This. Like,
you can never go wrong with cash.
You can never go wrong with cash. Yeah, because it's like it seems like they're at least already living together when they get engaged. Maybe they're living together before, where it's like I don't know what they would hypothetically need. So it's kind of funny. You bring that up, Ethan.
And this is there's no budget. This is anything you want.
Anything.
Oh, okay. I got it. If it's anything.
Oh boy.
Custom a fitting to get my clubs, driver, irons, woods, hybrids, all of them fitted.
So your dream set.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Go get fitted, measured, everything like that.
So what are you hoping someone just gives you $2,000 and they say have fun with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm expecting. If I ever get married, you guys got to split about $1,000 each on me to get my clubs fitted.
you poor bastard.
Actually, I wouldn't do that. If I was friends with like Pat Mahomes or somebody that had like FU money, yeah, I would say like if they were to ask, what do you want me to get you? I want my clubs fitted and I want you to pay for them. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Something.
Want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Ethan, because I am totally stumped.
I was going to say like a golf simulator.
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
also
maybe
not but just like the projector, like the expensive thing. Not like obviously the whole setup and everything, because you could put that on a sheet.
Just the projector in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Ethan? Just now that you got me thinking about this, we've done this at your place a few times, and it's just so much fun. Let's say hypothetically speaking, person you're going to marry, you guys have a house together, and you can fit this in there. How about a pool table in your basement?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to
Yeah.
go buck hunter for a second, and I was like, that's an awesome idea.
I thought about it, but I was like,
Grant's future wife would absolutely hate that. I feel
Seriously,
like
we get free buck hunter all the time.
it's fucking fantastic,
no kidding.
dude.
It's just
my
amazing.
God. I mean,
that does sound fun.
It's a great game, and you get it for free. Well, Ethan
Yeah.
probably pays a nice penny to live where he lives, but
It's
but hey,
worth everyone.
we're gonna take advantage of it with the buck hunter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would
Absolutely.
something like that, like something for like something in the basement or like a game room. So either like buck hunter or a pool table, where where
Cool.
2, 3, 4 people can go downstairs and hang out and have a good time and just shoot the shit for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only way to get better at pool is to play pool, and I'm not that good now because I don't play it often. So if I had one in my basement, who knows? I might get pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could roll up. You could be like one of them pool sharks. Just roll up. Grant, you could finally be the guy that you could be the big dick in the locker room.
God, I finally could.
Fair point.
And dude, I could totally go to some bar and totally hustle some dudes. Because let's be honest, they're gonna look at me and think, "There's no way this dude's good at pool. We're taking this guy's money."
You could just completely biff it and just shoot the cue ball into a guy's nacho on a table next to the table.
Oh, hey, sorry, this doesn't happen often. I don't know what got into me.
Yeah. All right, let's hit the white one, right? Boom, 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 boom. All right, money, let's go.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, give me that pool table for the basement.
I don't know the last time I've played pool.
We played the last couple weeks.
It's
I
like
used
golf.
to,
It's frustrating, but it's fun.
We used to have like this mini one. It's like, I don't know, it was about the size of like a table, like, I don't know, about the size of what my desk I'm sitting on is.
Okay.
And it had the worst bumpers. Like the carpet was like kind of creeping up, and you had to know how to hit it, or you couldn't, or hit it right, or it wouldn't work. And we'd have buddies come over and we'd play, and I played it enough to know how to get it to where
you had the home field advantage.
Yes, and they would get because you need coordination, you need a bunch of things that I don't have. But you got me on that pool table, I was winning that.
You got everyone's ass.
I did. So with that, football is right around the corner. We're gonna have some Twins. We'll see if they can get a 4-game win streak. Which by the time this episode is released, I believe it's a 3-game series.
It's a 4 game, I believe.
Are they playing tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it would be a 4-game. Hopefully they can win whoever they're playing.
Seattle.
And we got some positive vibes going into the Brandon Warren episode, because I don't really feel like wanting to be negative, because we said that when we had him on to preview the season earlier that we're going to be the mirror of positivity, and we're going to be talking about the Twins being contenders and moves to get them over the hump to win a playoff game and eventually win the World Series. So
you got to start somewhere.
We'll be excited for that. But that wraps up episode 87, the Rob Gronkowski episode of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We'll have the segments of the show out on YouTube on Friday. Make sure you go subscribe there, and on Facebook, Three Guys Talking Ball. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 3GTB Podcast. We'll be posting other content and engaging with you guys. And like I said, that wraps it up. We'll talk to you next time.